next alternative code agents, this one's near and dear to my heart because when I started in generative AI in 2022, one of the things that I was focusing on that we found out very early on was that generative models were really good at producing code. And it's taken off like wildfire. We have over 2 million developers worldwide using our code assistant. Really quickly, raise a hand. How many people are using some type of code assistant today? Pretty high. And it really is revolutionizing how you develop. And what it comes down to is, and again, I consider myself a hack when it comes to development, but it just increases that developer productivity, one with speed. Because with just natural language, there's a lot of function code I would have had to write by hand, and that takes some time. Nothing ground shattering, but repeatable processes that the AI can do really well that negates me having to do it, and that frees me up to look at where can I improve the code, and ultimately, how can I push more products faster? If I'm not having to do the trivial from a code development standpoint, now I can focus again on the innovative new projects that I want to work on and get that out even faster. Our pre-built code agent is called Gemini Code Assist, and Code Assist provides enterprise-grade code assistance that supports private code bases, on-premises. It supports GitLab, GitHub, Bitbucket. That's another thing around code completion. There's one thing to give you code completion. There's another thing to have the model trained on your code repos and give you specific code completions based on your organization. And what you're seeing here, and this is again near and dear to my heart, because one of the projects I was working on is, these are all results of Google. So to give you a little history, like I said, right around 2019 is when we started to see these transformer models really start to produce code. And so if you can imagine from a Google perspective, if you look at our company and what we do, what does Google produce? Primarily we produce software. So we were very focused in the early days on developing a generative AI coding assistant for our developers to increase their productivity. And these are the results coming straight from our organization. So we saw about a 40% faster completion time for common tasks. Like I said, if it's a lot of repeatable code, not having to do that. 55% less time understanding new code, that's a huge one. I can't emphasize that enough. And depending on where your organization is, that can go probably way higher. For Google, we have a lot of seasoned developers, so they're looking at code and maybe they don't need as much assistance. But if you're bringing a junior developer or you're a new developer, the ability to highlight code and have Gemini explain what's going on, that one's almost unquantifiable from my perspective. And this all equals to less time writing code, and everybody's favorite, less time writing unit tests. Huge acceleration in unit tests. The last one I really want to talk about is security agents. With security agents, it's really about adding new team members to a really critical function, which is security. Are there any security engineers, security experts, SOC teams in the room? Thanks for showing up today. I know how busy you are. In my mind, this is one of the toughest jobs to do, primarily because it's not a stagnant information base. As soon as you come up with a new way to block an attack, 10 new attacks have been created. So a large part of being a security expert these days is just keeping up with what's going on at a very, 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 very increased fast pace. So the way I like to say it, having a security agent is like having a digital detective over your shoulder. It's almost like being a physician when you're looking at all these different data feeds and trying to figure out what's happening and how you're being attacked. Having those security agents over your shoulder that can sift through just vast amounts of information is really game-changing in trying to get to the root cause of what a problem might be happening and how to mediate that problem. An example of one of our pre-built security agents is we call Gemini and what we call threat intelligence. So this helps you sift through Mandiant's just massive amount of corpus of information on frontline threats. And as I mentioned, security is evolving, and staying on top of this is just so tough. So before that, to be honest, again, this seems almost insurmountable as a security ops professional. You're getting attacked. You're not sure what's going on. To parse through, when I was talking about those documents, to parse through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages of technical PDFs on security threats is just such an ask. And now having Gemini built in to do that for you So you can just prompt it with natural language on kind of what you're seeing and have it go through that corpus of information and point you in the right direction is just huge from a time savings perspective. And when you're under attack, time moves everything. And then after learning, what you think might be the attack vector you're seeing, you can go right into Gemini and our security operations tool, and this is the tool that combines not just white papers on the threat attacks, but this has what's happening on your network. So your log information, your logons, everything a security ops team would aggregate into a system dashboard. Now again, you have that security agent over your shoulder, and in plain English, this again is one of those things where if whoever's on call or whoever's looking at it, maybe they know exactly what log system to go in to find, failed login attempts. But if you don't, this is where that security agent really comes into play, is I can just literally type find failed login user attempts for the last 3 days. And it's gonna sift through all the myriads of logs, and it's gonna understand what you're asking and pull that up for you so you don't have to. And then it can even help you create the response for that attack. So the security agent will actually even create the playbook for you, or get you 90% of the way there. So I can navigate to that playbook tab, and I can make a quick edit based on the natural language, and I can say, hey, when you find these failed logons, go ahead and notify me via email. I can do this in natural language again, and say set the triggers for that, and this is all updated in seconds. And so it's one of those things where it will never replace the security operations team. But if anybody's, and I have been in this space, has anybody ever been on a call with your executives not happy about something that's happening on your platform, having the security agent over your shoulder to at least start the due diligence and search you through while you're trying to figure out what's going on? Such a game changer in the security place. So I really do think, we are at a pivotal moment in AI. You're going to hear a lot about agents, but it really is enabling the models now to work deeper and have more impact across your organization. And it really is, I think we're taking that first step. Last year, like I said, was really about developing the intelligence of the agent, and now we're enabling these agents to do deeper and deeper work that's going to have more and more impact on our different industries and verticals every day. And I wanted to leave you with what that stack looks like. You're going to have a lot more sessions today, a lot more detail. But on Google Cloud, you're provided with every piece needed to create these agents. So we have some pre-built agents, as I mentioned before. So there's pre-built agents for Workspace. There's actually an agent within the Google Cloud Console itself that will help you with the Google Cloud constructs as well. Then we have Vertex AI, and this is really your platform for constructing the agents, for informing the agents, building the tools that it's going to need to do the work, building the adapters in order to get access to the data. And then you have the Gemini models themselves. So these are the brains behind those agents. We have a multitude of different models. And then you have what we call the AI hypercomputer, which is really the infrastructure to drive this at scale globally. So with that, I wanted to thank you again for coming today. As I mentioned, I just scratched the surface. I wanted to, hopefully this opens up everybody to, what they think they might be able to apply this to. Because you're going to have some great sessions later on today. You're going to hear from our customers that are actually taking action using agents. There's